Welcome back to Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I'm your host, Kanan Becker, and today we talk about 10 horror movies streaming right now that I highly recommend.
There is a sickness inside us.
Suffering.
So I'm trying something a little different today. I'm going to talk about 10 horror movies that are streaming across multiple platforms. I'm going to tell you where they're streaming at the time of recording this. So keep that in mind if you're watching this down the road at a future date. They may still not be available on those platforms. We're going to start off with 3 that are rentals. After that, it'll be 7 that are available for free as long as you have a subscription to that streaming service. But with that, let's get to the list. Immaculate is a 2024 psychological horror movie. Directed by Michael Mahone, it stars Sydney Sweeney, Alvaro Morte, and Benedetta Percelleri. The story follows a young woman of devout faith who is invited to reside at a picture-perfect Italian convent, but slowly she realizes that the convent harbors terrifying secrets.
It's a miracle. You are with child.
So this one's available right now on Prime for $5.99. It's a new release, but I think it is absolutely worth it. A lot of people didn't get a chance to see this in theaters, and you really missed out because this movie is awesome. It's dark and moody and creepy. It gets absolutely savage and goes completely for it towards the end of it. I did do a full review of it when it was first released, so if you want to hear me talk more about it at length, definitely check that out. But I think this movie is brilliant. Sydney Sweeney is incredible in it, really shows her acting chops. And for a subgenre that's been done to death, this one is a breath of fresh air in my opinion, because it doesn't hold back. It isn't that PG-13 nun stuff where it's all about the jump scares. This terrifies you in the most gritty, disturbing ways. But as you can tell, I'm a big fan of this movie, so I think it's absolutely worth the rental cost. The Coffee Table is a 2022 Spanish black comedy horror movie. Directed by Kay Casas, it stars David Pareja and Estefania de los Santos. Jesus and Maria are a couple going through a difficult time in their relationship. Nevertheless, they have just become parents, and to shape their new life, they decide to buy a new coffee table, a decision that will change their existence.
Les aseguro que esta mesa, por diseño y por su nivel, les va a cambiar la vida a mejor.
Wow, just wow. This movie is so dark. So this is a big warning up front. And this is another rental on Prime as well for $2.99. But I think it is definitely worth it. But that is if you want to watch this. Because I'm telling you guys, this is the darkest black comedy I have ever seen. So much so that it's almost not even a black comedy. Like, it walks the line where I'm not even sure that a lot of people will even think it is a comedy. I mean, it's very dark and disturbing and uncomfortable and awkward and puts you in the most hyper real, anxiety-driven situation that you can imagine. But it's incredibly well acted, well shot, well directed. It's a simple movie with a small cast that mostly just takes place in this one location, but don't let that fool you. This movie is heart-pounding, it is intense, it'll keep you on the edge of your seat the entire time. There is some shocking moments, I'm telling you, it is extremely disturbing. But if you like dark comedy, I mean pitch black comedy, then definitely give this a look.
There's no cure!
Accept the diagnosis, and you will see. It's wonderful here.
A Cure for Wellness is a 2016 horror movie. Directed by Gore Verbinski, it stars Dane DeHaan, Mia Goth, and Jason Isaacs. A young executive is sent to retrieve his company's CEO from a mysterious wellness center at a remote location in the Swiss Alps. But soon he suspects that the spa's treatments are not what they seem.
What we offer here is a process of purification away from the pressures of the modern world.
So this is the last rental on here. It's available on YouTube for $3.79 to rent. But I had to talk about this one because I just never see it streaming anywhere. And so I think it's worth renting because it's a really underappreciated movie. And I don't know when it's going to be available to stream on one of the platforms again. So to be honest, I just wanted to talk about this because it's a real gem that just does not get enough love. For one, I think it's the very first time I saw Mia Goth in a movie. Even though she's younger in this, she's already brilliant and captures the screen. She's everything that I've come to appreciate about her already in this. But this is a surprising, creepy, atmospheric, just really fun little movie. So I'm not gonna say it's a perfect movie. Some people will definitely find flaws with it. It's not really one to take overly serious. Really just a popcorn kind of horror movie. It's sci-fi, it's supernatural, it has cultish vibes. It's just a lot of fun and definitely one that I think is worth renting.
El tiempo de la fe se termina rápido.
When Evil Lurks is a 2023 Argentine horror movie, written and directed by Demian Rugna. It stars Ezekiel Rodriguez, Louis Dombrowski, and Emilio Vadovic. In a remote village, two brothers find a demon-infected man about to give birth to evil itself. So they decide to get rid of the man, but merely succeed in helping him to deliver the inferno. If you've watched this channel at all over the last year, you've definitely heard me talk about this movie. I am a huge fan of it. It was my #1 pick for horror movies last year. And when I saw that it was available now on Hulu, I got really excited because it just meant that even more people, an even wider audience, could finally check it out. But it is still available on Shudder as well, so you can watch it on either platform. But I just think it's got everything that I love in horror. It has creepy elements, uncomfortable things. It is gory and gruesome and gross. And talk about shocking. I mean, it has some scenes that are definitely jaw-dropping, just brutal, savage, absolutely messed up in every way you can think of. The whole world that is set up here, all the rules and everything of this universe is very unique. But I think this movie's incredible. So if you have yet to see this, do yourself a favor and make this the next thing that you watch.
Tu sei la più preziosa qui.
A Classic Horror Story is a 2021 Italian horror movie, written and directed by Paolo Strapoli and Roberto De Fio. It stars Matilda Lutz, Francesco Russo, and Peppino Mazzata. The story is about 5 friends who travel across the country and get in a car accident. But when they recover, the road they were driving on has been replaced by an impenetrable forest and wooden house.
Che cos'è?
È la leggenda di Osso Mastrossa e Carcagnosso. La gente moriva di fame e loro promisero di salvarli. Ma non sa mai niente per niente.
So this is an interesting one. It goes in some weird directions, definitely takes some twists and turns that'll keep you guessing. But it's available to stream right now on Netflix, and I think it's a great watch. It has a real great look and style to it, and it definitely pays homage to the stuff from the 70s and 80s. But it gets gory and brutal and really twisted. It's also really mysterious and it'll definitely keep you guessing. But it's not anything that reinvents the wheel, so don't go in expecting that either. But just go in to be entertained, and I think you'll have a good time. So definitely check this one out.
I need you.
The Free Fall is a 2021 psychological horror movie. Directed by Adam Stillwell, it stars Andrea Londo, Sean Ashmore, and Jane Badler. A young woman must wrestle an overbearing husband after she attempts to take her own life.
Doctor, please. What's wrong with her?
You don't remember. I found you in the tub, Sarah. You tried to
This is a truly gorgeous movie. The way it's shot, the set design, the costumes, really just beautifully done. And this has really flown under the radar. I haven't heard anyone talk about it, and it is available to stream on Hulu. Gotta be careful what I say about it because it is one that can easily be spoiled. But I think Andrea Londo is great in this. She just has a really layered, emotional, believable performance. And this takes a lot of twists and turns. It's very mysterious and it'll keep you guessing till the end. This is a really interesting little gem that's absolutely worth checking out. The Possession is a 1981 psychological drama horror movie, written and directed by Andrzej Zulawski. It stars Sam Neill and Isabelle Adjani. A young woman starts exhibiting increasingly disturbing behavior after asking her husband for a divorce, and suspicions of infidelity give way to something much more sinister.
You have someone.
Yes.
Do you sleep with him?
Yes.
This is truly a work of art, an absolute masterpiece, but definitely not one that's going to be for everyone. It is available right now on Shudder, and it blows my mind because I had heard of this movie for quite a while, but for whatever reason, I had just never seen it until about a year or so ago. And I finally did see it, and it just blew me away. It's very artistic, very creative. It has an artsy, slow burn feel, kind of an A24 vibe, but way before A24 was a thing. But it's very bizarre, and it'll keep you questioning through the whole movie, like, what is going on? It is hard to follow at times, but I think the payoff at the end and the performances make this an absolute must-see. And the performance from Isabelle Adjani, especially the one, you'll know when it happens what I'm talking about, but it is truly incredible. One of the most amazing body performances I've ever seen. But this is a weird one, so just be ready for it. But I think it really is a work of art and one you definitely need to see.
You don't think I'm a bad person?
All I think is that I love you.
Bones and All is a 2022 romantic horror movie. Directed by Luca Guadagnino, it stars Taylor Russell, Timothy Chalamet, and Mark Rylance. The plot's about a pair of young cannibals who flee across the country on a road trip and develop feelings for each other.
I can't help you anymore.
I know it's not your fault. You were born this way. You ate them. I believed you had to. I don't know why.
This is such a unique, brilliant movie, and it's kind of a bummer because I think maybe from the trailer, people just did not give this a chance. I'm not sure why, actually, but it just really is flying under the radar. And it is available right now to stream on Prime if you have a membership. So I think you definitely need to see it. Because here's the thing, from the trailer, it looks very much like a romance, and it is. Don't get me wrong, this is very much a love story. But it's also super dark, super twisted, and very horror. There's some really gruesome, uncomfortable, just savage scenes in this movie. And even the love story, the way it's put together, it's beautiful. It really is. And it's done in a horror way. I think a lot of people have seen, this beautiful young couple and they're just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's cannibals that, it's not going to be that dark. No, trust me, this movie gets extremely fucking dark. And a big part of that is Mark Rylance. He is just incredible in this. One of the most terrifying, subtle villains you'll see, at least that I've seen in quite a while. But it's dirty and gritty, sweaty and uncomfortable. And it's one that I highly, highly recommend.
This house seems unfamiliar.
Relic is a 2020 Australian psychological horror movie. Directed by Natalie Erica James, it stars Emily Mortimer, Robin Nevin, and Bella Heathcote. A daughter, mother, and grandmother are haunted by manifestations of dementia that consumes their family's home.
Tea?
Here's another one that really has flown under the radar. It just kind of got caught up in that whole 2020 where a lot of movies just fell through the cracks. And it's a bummer because this movie is really well done. And talk about moody and atmospheric. Wow, this has got so much of that. It just drips in that. It's really mysterious and creepy and definitely keeps you questioning what's going on. Because so much of this movie, you're not sure of what is reality and what is fantasy. And the way it deals with getting old and dementia and all of that, but puts it in and frames it into this really interesting horror way, I think is brilliant. The whole cast is great in this and give really believable, emotional performances. So I think this is a remarkable film that you should definitely go check out on Shudder.
What the fuck is that? Fucking hell, we don't know where we are!
The Ritual is a 2017 British horror movie. Directed by David Bruckner, it stars Rafe Spall, Arshur Ali, and Robert James Collier. The story follows four friends who take a hiking trip into a Swedish forest and encounter an ancient, mysterious evil.
It's been gutted. Could be hunters out here. Bait, possibly. Or it's the bit they don't show you in the nature documentary. It's a warning. We shouldn't be here.
So David Bruckner is one of my favorite filmmakers out there right now. He did Night House, which was my favorite horror movie from 2021. He did the Hellraiser remake, which I think is very underrated. I think it's really well done. But before that, he did this movie, and I think it's a really special movie. It's just so layered. There's two things kind of going on simultaneously where it deals with much deeper issues and it has a lot to say, whereas on the surface you're seeing this strange, mysterious, creepy horror movie. It's very atmospheric and creepy, especially when they're in the forest. It just looks cold and uncomfortable. And the cast in this do a really great job as well. But it has some visuals, especially towards the end. There is one scene in particular that'll definitely stick with you. It's available streaming over on Netflix, and I think it's a perfect pick for this weekend. So do yourself a favor, pick one of the movies off of this list, grab your popcorn and your candy, and enjoy! And I want to give a massive, huge, enormous thank you to the Ghost Pirate crew, to you guys over on Patreon, and to the channel members over here. You guys mean so much to me. And if you would like to help this channel out by becoming a member over on Patreon, there's a link down in the description. Or if you want to help out by becoming a channel member, there's a button right down there that says join. And like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, guys, horror can be fun. And if you enjoyed this, click right here to watch me talk about 10 more movies that I recommend. And I'll see you guys next time.